yung boses nyo pag kanyang kahina. Lalakasan nyo. Go.
Hello, Miss Olivia Tan.
You call me Olive. Yung mataas ang BP ko pag Olivia. Parang tinatawag ako ng nanay ko na Olivia.
Miss Olive. I'm Mia Padillo from Manila Teacher.
Miss Olive, I'm Xavier De La Salle.
Xavier.
Yes.
I'm JC Rivera.
JC.
I'm Gail.
Gail.
My name is Romina Micheles. Romina.
Romina.
I'm Siken Chen,
You're Filipino?
Chinese.
Chinese. Full-blooded Chinese? You live here in the Philippines? Okay, you speak Tagalog? Hindi naman pala eh. Okay, so, anong year na kayo?
Second year.
Second year. Okay, tell me the purpose of your visit.
We have a
Kunyari,
project.
interview lang to. Ako yung mag-interview sa inyo.
We have a project in one of our major subjects, which is HR management. It's under Sir Moy. And our
Sir Moy?
Sir Edward Moises. I think
Edward
Moises.
Moises.
Our project is all about a job analysis of an HR manager. So, as what I've said in my letter, my dad referred you to me.
Who's your dad, by the way?
Roy Yepes.
Okay. He's a friend of mine. Okay. How is he?
He's still in a Japanese company. Sumitomo, Batangas.
Okay. Why is it that he didn't refer you to his company?
He said you're one of the closest friend, and I don't know. You do well in the profession.
Ah, gano'n. Binola ka pa. Binola talaga yung daddy mo. Okay. Shall we start?
So, since you answered the
Not
question,
all, not all. I just put something. I just browsed this morning your questionnaire. Okay, but not all.
Which part?
You go with your interview now.
So, this is worker requirements information. So, in terms of your work, what are the knowledge required in your work?
What are the knowledge required in your work? Me as an HR manager? Knowledge. Of course, you are in human relations. Number one is you have to know your people. Diba? You have to know different personalities. Wow, you're recording. My goodness, nakanta ba ako dyan? Okay, and of course, the basics of handling people. How do you handle people? How do you balance concern for people and concern for work? It's very important if you are an HR. Yes, you are there to look for the welfare of the company, but you have to remember that the objectives of the company will be achieved through people. That's why you really have to look after the welfare of your people also. Okay?
In terms of skills.
Skills. Do I sing? Do I dance? Of course, when you interpersonal skills is very important. Counseling is very important. More on building relationships. Okay, when you say interpersonal relationship, you'll be able to connect with your people, with your subordinates, to people lower than your position, to upper management. That's as far as interpersonal relationships is concerned. You must know how to counsel. You get the counseling skills, because if you are HR, you handle everything, even the personal problems of your people, even their love life. Mamula na ako sa kalendaryo. You know what's calendar? Diba, sasabihin natin, diba rin nasa loto ka pa naman? Diba? So, everything under the sun about people, you really have to have that skills. So, your counseling skills, your interviewing skills is very important. That's why when you apply for that job, diba, you will face an interview. So, interviewing skills is also important. Administrative skills. When you say administrative skills, handling, putting things in place, in order. Okay. What other skills?
How about abilities?
Abilities. Ano ba yung I'm able to reprimand my people. Tama, Ara? Okay. But how do I reprimand people? Ara, can you answer the question?
Appraisal.
How do I reprimand my staff?
Manual kasi when it comes to people handling, lalo na sa mga staff niya. Would you reprimand them or reprimand pa ba? Reminder muna. Pag ganyan reminder, halimbawa mayroong mga deadlines. So, a month before yung event, nagsasabi na yan si ma'am, mga ano lang, siguro kasakali lang, mga ganun lang, mga sinasabi na ni ma'am na, next month, for example, sports fest na. So, guys, prepare everything, be ready with the budget, ganyan, yung mga committee. So, yun. So, kami, as staff ni ma'am, or kaya committee members kami ng isang event dito sa company. So, kami parang, iniisip na namin ahead of time kung ano ba yung mga ongoing or kaya incoming na mga activities or kaya yung mga naisip namin ideas para kapag halimbawa yung mismong month na ng preparation, so meron na kaming details, meron na kaming i-feed na info kay ma'am para dun sa meeting hindi kami, alam yung word na nakanganga, gano'n. So parang walang gano'n. And it comes sa mga shortcomings namin, ayan, si ma'am, bago niya sabihin sa iyo kung ba may project, bago niya sabihin sa iyo na when can you submit, tatanong niya sa amin ulit. Halimbawa, nagbigay ako ng deadline kay ma'am na Monday, are you sure? What time? Kasi si ma'am, specific yan. Kapag sinabi mo kung ano yung oras at araw na sinabi niya sa iyo, ina-expect niya yon kasi sa iyo nang galing yung sagot, hindi sa kanya. Pag halimbawa, sinabi ni ma'am na, pwede ba yung Tuesday, makikipag-bargain kami. So, ikaw, ready ka dun sa isusupport mo sa kanya na, or sasagot mo sa kanya kung bakit hindi mo maibibigay yon. So, si ma'am, mag-meet halfway kayo. Hindi naman one-sided si ma'am Olive. So, hindi ko yung sinasabi dahil nandito siya or boss siya.
Hindi,
So,
appraisal period.
si ma'am,
Just kidding.
yun. So, ganyan si ma'am. Kasi pag ayaw din niya naman na ma-pressure kami, tapos ma-meet nga namin o masubmit namin sa kanya yung report, kaya lang, ang daming mga errors. And, syempre, back to zero niya. So, waste of time din yun. So, kami, sa staff niya, kami yung binibigay niya ng deadline para yung sarili namin kakayahan talaga namin na-target namin matapos.
Okay, so Ara is referring to hitting the deadlines and of course yung negotiating skills. Okay, because if you are a manager, you don't just impose. Because if you impose to your people, they will just say yes to you, but they will not submit based on the deadline you set. So our style is we ask them, when can you submit the report? Of course, depending if the report is not that urgent. If, for example, the president will say, I need the report by tomorrow morning, then I will not give them that leeway or the chance to negotiate with me when to submit. I will tell them, I need that tomorrow morning. That's an order already. But if the report has a lead time, then I'll ask them, when can you submit the report? They are setting their own deadlines. But if they set their deadline to me, I have to submit it. Or else, I will mark that. Okay? Because they set the deadlines. Diba? Monday, but they missed the deadline. Then I record it. Okay, so what other skills aside dun sa interviewing skills, negotiating skills, administrative skills? Of course, the decision making is very important, diba? You make a lot of decisions in HR as to, of course, the budgeting. Of course, you do the budgeting. If you don't make your budget for the year, then you will not spend anything for the whole year. So if it is budget season, you really have to evaluate, check your department, what are needed. Do you need to buy any tools, equipment, additional laptop, additional computers, everything under the sun. Even the food that you will serve during the seminar, you have to budget it. Okay? So that's budgeting. Decision making also is also one. Employee discipline. You have to know the how to the due process in disciplining employees, and you have to know how to make sound and valid recommendation, because it's very important. There are times that the top management is so dependent on us. They believe in your recommendation, that your recommendation is what is valid. Your recommendation is commensurate to the offense that the employee incurred. Then they will just approve your recommendation. So even if there are in erring employees, our procedure is we just recommend, but that recommendation is very critical. Kasi almost 99.9% the management is approving the recommendation. Let's say, if we recommend that this person must be dismissed from the job, my recommendation is dismissed from the job, then the top management will approve it. The percentage would be 99.9. So, my role as HR is I have to be very careful when making my recommendation, because most likely they will approve my recommendation, especially as to the case of an erring employee. Okay?
So, Miss Ollie, aside from the knowledge, skills, and abilities, what are the personal characteristics that you have as an HR?
Personal characteristics. Ayan. Ara will say that.
Personal. Si ma'am.
Any
in
background
personal,
music?
May personal characteristics niya. Kaya ako nag-raise na. Kasi nakasama ko na siya for 8 months, lalo na pag kami mga trainees, and then sa office din. Ang personal characteristics ni ma'am, hindi lang siya boss. So, nalapitan, alam mo yung office ni ma'am, laging nakabukas yan. From the start, nung new hire employee pa lang ako, sinasabi niya, my door is always open. Sabi, kapag there's something bothering you or you like to say something, ganyan, just approach me, lalo na pag halimbawa, wala naman pag naman halimbawa, gusto mo na talagang kausapin si ma'am, approach mo lang siya, kamiya, kasi nandoon. Tapos, ano ba yun? Pwede ko maggamitin yung sinabi ni Sir Jack, OVT sa Providence. O, ganun. So, parang, kasi si ma'am, yun nga, more of counseling si ma'am. So, masa-set aside mo na HR manager ba yung kausap mo? Kasi more on motherly advice yung ibibigay sa'yo ni ma'am. Yun sinabi niyo, everything under the sun, personal, love life, nandun na, career. So, si ma'am hindi yan madamo. So, lahat, everything sinishare niya, lalo na kapag makikita niya, magbe-benefit yung all, hindi lang yung all employees niya, yung staff niya. So, yun, motherly, si ma'am, yung personal characteristics niya. At, when it comes sa pagdidisiplina, si ma'am, iba yung style ni ma'am pagdidisiplina. Kausapin ka niya, may self-realization na magaganap. Hindi niya tatanong sa'yo kung tama ba yung ginawa mo, hindi. Ipapakwento niya sa'yo, tapos at the end ng conversation mo, anong realization mo? So, anong na-realize mo after mo ginawa yun o binasabi ka dun sa kapwa mo, tama ba yun? Tama ba yun? So, ikaw, sa sarili mo, parang hindi po. Tapos, i-reflect mo na hindi ka nasa inyo, nasa company ka. So, iba yung tingin ng tao mo, especially yung sinasabi niya sa amin, especially sa HR of all the departments. So, kami yung mas konting actions namin, talagang tinitingnan ng mga tao kasi kami yung mga rule-abiding citizen dapat. So, dapat, ayun, nasa HR ethics, bawal kami magkamali. So, bawal din kami mapagod at bawal kami magkaroon ng emosyon. So, makita yung emosyon namin. Kung nagagalit man kami o kung masasaya, pwede. Pero yung pag nagagalit, dapat chill. Kasi sabi nyo, chillax lang. So, kahit makulit na yung empleyado o kaya nakakapanggigil na. So, chill lang. Ganun si ma'am. Yun, personal characteristics.
Well, what's your course, if I may ask?
Human resource.
So, what are your plans after graduation?
To get a job.
What job are you intending to have? Huh? Yes, Romina. Side trip lang ako, ha?
HR manager.
HR manager. Okay. How about you? Same.
I want to be in the recruitment.
Recruitment.
So work in a company.
What work? You have to be specific. HR related.
HR related. Yes.
HR related talaga. Are you sure? It's not an easy task, huh?
Yes.
Because you're dealing with people. If you're an accountant, you're dealing with numbers. If the numbers don't reconcile, then those are just numbers, diba? You are dealing with papers, diba? The numbers are not reconciled, so you have to look at it, evaluate it, analyze it. Then you will see, oh, here's the problem. I forgot to put 1 0 here. That's accounting. Engineering, more on measurement, right? But for human resource, it's human beings. So you have to think twice if you really want to be in HR. It's really a tough job, but I would say that it is a fulfilling job if you find your core in HR. When I say find your core, na it's at times it is heartbreaking. It is the least appreciated department. Why? Because it's a service department. Parang you do everything already, but they ask for more. They ask for more, diba? They ask for more. But I said a while ago that it's really fulfilling if people will come to you, even the janitor, even the ordinary production operator, they will just say, "Mom, thank you very much." That's one thing that you will never forget. That one appreciation from a low positioned employee. Not much of the appreciation of the top management, but what will inspire you most if the people will see your sincerity to really help them, to your support and your help to them. Okay, so you have to think twice. If you want to earn a lot of money, then HR is not for you. Go to sales, go to marketing. No? But if you really want to deal with people, HR is the right place for you. Anyway, you're just second year, maybe you would just think, ay, ano po na nga ng HR? I'll go back to, ano. So, the key there is, where is your passion? If you're passionate to deal with people, then that's it. Did Ana answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, do you have a follow-up question?
I will proceed to my last question.
Okay. Last na talaga, ha?
Yes. Credentials, Miss Audrey.
Credentials. Ano ba yung credentials? Sige nga. Sige, what are credentials? Interviewer, nagtatanong hindi alam na tanong.
Kasi wala akong time, sorry. So,
What do you mean by credentials?
can I...
I'm just helping you, ha? Ikaw atin. Sige, relax lang. Achievements? Ano pa? Do you really want me to tell you my achievements?
It's something that makes you qualified for a job.
Okay. Okay. If you are referring credentials to something that made me qualified for the job, I would say not much of my education attainment, my achievements, not that one, but maybe the experience. Maybe the experience working as HR. Okay, I think I've been in the industry for how many years already? Naku, do not compute for my age. I started with 2, can you write it down? 2 plus 9 plus 9 plus 7. Can you total it?
18 years.
Okay, so I have 18 years of experience as HR. Yeah, so maybe that would be the credentials. Added na lang the educational attainment, the material units that you have, addition yan. But what is most important is not much of your, of course I do give credit to masteral courses, no problem with that, but it's the experience. It's the experience and it's your desire for self-development. You really have to make your own. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of books, especially inspirational books, motivational books. Siguro I have, in a year, I'm able to read around maximum of, depending on the thickness of the book, a maximum of 7 or 8 books a year. Okay, and not only just reading, but if I read a book and then say, this is good, then I try to practice it. I try to practice it. Not only just reading the book, but try to um, learn from the book and apply it in my life and apply it in my job, or maybe during the seminar we incorporate these materials to our learnings or mga seminars or trainings namin. Okay, so very important is the self-development, because even if you are a graduate of any masteral course, diba? And MA ka, you have a masteral course, but then if you don't have the passion, and if you don't have that yung self-study ba, the passion to learn, because I take it to myself that as long as I live, I want to learn. Even if I am this young enough, diba, I still love to learn. If I am attending a training, if I am attending a seminar, I don't want to be late. I want to be early, and I want to choose the best part of the training room. I want to see, can I see the PowerPoint? I have my pen, my notebook. Then I keep on, though I am tired, writing and listening, because I want to learn. So that's one thing that you should not miss, the love for learning. I thought before that after graduation, I'm done with my studies. Okay na, I have my diploma already. But then after the graduation, then I felt that kulang pa. It's not enough to graduate the 4-year course, di ba? It's not enough. So you took your master's, and then aside from that, you do your self-study. You read books, as I mentioned. You attend seminars, trainings that will really, you attend conventions, conferences that will really improve you as a person, not only as a manager per se your position, but as a person. Okay?
Thank you for asking my questions, Miss Audrey.
I have a question. So, you seem like a very busy woman. How do you make time for yourself?
How do I make time for myself? Really, we're really busy here in Gardenia. We are really busy with my gift. But I have a policy in my life that Saturdays and Sundays are intended for my family, and that's no compromise. No compromise. Exceptions would be if there are activities, annual activities of the company, like we have the sports fest, that's annual, maybe the summer outing, that's annual, that's fine. But on a regular weekend, that is intended for my family, and there's no compromise. Okay, so I do have my massage session. No compromise din ang massage session for me, because that is my, I don't have vices. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't party. My vice maybe is eating. Obvious naman eh. Okay, eating with, of course, with my family, with my friends, and of course yung as I mentioned, my massage. So my therapy, what is my therapy? When I say therapy, that's breather from the busy work. My breather is I love doing the marketing. Namamalengke po ako. Kaya alam ko presyo ng galunggong. Yan. I love doing the groceries. Gusto ko yan, huwag mong alisin sa akin yan. Though I'm tired, okay lang sa akin. I enjoy that. And of course, I go to church. Okay, and I have my time for my spiritual discipline. When you say spiritual discipline, you read the Word of God, you pray, you meditate on it. That's it.
So, are there any tools, equipments, or machinery used in the process of your job?
what example of tools do you mean? The PC, the laptop? Is that the tool that
Yes,
you're
yes.
referring to?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Oh yes. So we have. So we, aside of course from our drivers, all HR staff they have their own PC. Okay, because they will not be efficient and effective if they don't have their own PC. Okay, they must have one. Okay, and what else? The printer is there.
About cars, yes.
A car.
Yeah.
Yes, I have my car. Ano pa? Sige. Cellphone, the mobile, of course.
So I'll proceed. What is expected performance of your job? Performance level of your job?
Performance that what is the management's expectation?
Yeah.
Okay. So in our company, all departments are required to submit their departmental objective. Okay? So in HR there are 5 sections. One is compensation benefit section, training and development, which are is handling. What else? Recruitment, medical section, and the other one is employee relations. So each of these 5 departments, they have their target objectives to be accomplished for every quarter or semi-annual or annual. And since I am the HR manager, I have to ensure that they are meeting their targets. Okay? So if you don't meet your target, see you in the principal's office.
What are the things, what are the trainings needed of your job?
Trainings?
Yes.
There are a lot There are a lot of training. So I mentioned the 5 sections, diba? You have to be trained on compensation and benefit. You have to be trained on industrial relations. You have to be trained on how to conduct training to people. Especially yung mga regular Department of Labor regulations, you must be adept on that, diba? So you have to be updated on what's the latest regulation from Department of Labor? What's the latest minimum wage in the Department of Labor? So you have to be updated, diba? What else? You have to be updated also with what is happening around you, especially let's say when it comes to medical. Let's say, for example, there was a news before about what's the virus which came from Saudi Arabia.
H1N1?
No, no.
H7N9?
No, luma na yan. Saan ba kayo galing planeta? I think it's the MERS, Middle East Respiratory Syndrome virus. So that was, I think it was in the news last month, June, early part of June. So you watch the television. There's the spread out of MERS. This is a virus which came from Saudi Arabia or Middle East. So the Department of Health, they want to ensure that all OFWs who are coming from Middle East, they are free from this. So if you are an HR, you have to think, okay, you will ask your nurse, can you investigate on this, research on the MERS, how does it spread, so that you are ready. You are ready because, okay, what's the possible contamination? What's the possible transfer of this disease or this virus? And then you check. Do our people people capable of having this with the current scenario? So pag if see na wala naman, brush it off, diba? But you have to be updated with what is happening. What's the implication? Let's say just the recent election. So we have to be responsible citizen also. So you have to remind your people that, okay, we have to vote wisely. So you have to post in the bulletin board or even the email. You do the email blast and inform the people. These are the guidelines how to vote or how to vote wisely. So you have to link your job with what is happening around you, diba? based in election. Now, of course, if it is Father's Day, Mother's Day, so we want to be greeting our mothers, employee mothers or fathers, di ba? We want to link with them. Okay? Did I answer your question?
Yes, miss. Thank you. I'll move to the job context. What are the working conditions of your job?
When you say working conditions, what do you mean? Physical working conditions or
All miss. Yes, physical.
this is very general. When you say working condition, what do you mean? Physical working condition? Are you referring to the benefits?
Physical, miss.
Physical?
Mostly.
So, pag physical environment, of course, very important na our people sa HR, they have their own table, of course. The place is conducive for working. Hindi maingay, diba? Malinis, well air conditioned, orderly. What else? Okay, well lighted, diba? Same holds true naman with our manufacturing plant. We have our manufacturing facilities and we ensure that is well lighted, well ventilated, not necessarily aircon because we have big ovens, diba? Okay? Free from any unsafe condition. Safe yung mga tao. Walang what you call that? Yung mga cords na pwede kang matilapit. Ganun siya. When you're referring to physical condition,
So, what are the physical demands of your job?
physical demands?
Yes, miss.
Within your physical
Yourself.
Physical demands. I work 8 o'clock in the morning, at times 8:30 in the morning because if you're a manager, you are not required to clock in, clock out, no, because you are paid by results. You're not paid by time, diba? Unlike for the staff or the production operator, they clock in at 8 o'clock, they go home at 5 o'clock. If they extend time, they will be paid overtime. But for managers, we are not paid overtime. So, we are paid by results, by the result that we produce. So going back to your question, what's your question again?
Physical demand.
Physical demand, not more physical because our job we do it on sitting down, but more on intellectual and emotions. Emotions is very important. Though kahit nasabihin nila, don't be affected when you dismiss employee, it's not feasible, right? When you dismiss an employee, for example, I'll give you an example. Example, one employee tampered an invoice. Tampered. So, he is guilty of the offense, right? So, based on the rules and regulations of the company, he is to be dismissed from the job. So, my role is to investigate it, hear his side, but once proven, so my recommendation is to dismiss the person. Now, when I dismiss the person, of course, I have to talk to him. Now, if you saw the person crying, what will you say? Kasalanan mo yan eh. Be, buti nga. You don't say that, di ba? Of course, if the person, when you serve the dismissal notice or termination, you cannot help but be affected, emotionally affected. But you have to stand firm. That is one thing that you have to remember. You have to stand firm of the decision. You don't allow your emotions to affect your decision. So that the decision is final, the person is to be dismissed. You are affected because remember this, when you dismiss a person, you're dismissing basically the whole family. You're depriving of the family of the income, right? You're depriving of the family of the income. So if you are a manager with a heart, then you'll be affected. But you have to stand firm. So what's your role now is to tell the person, make the person realize that he committed a mistake, and that mistake must not happen again in his future job. And you will tell the person, there's still life after Gardenia. I believe that after working in Gardenia, you can still look for a better job, but please do not repeat this offense. I hope you learned from this, and this will never happen again in your entire life. If you can ask the person, can you promise me that this will never happen again? Do this for your family, do this for your children, don't do that for me. And you make the person realize that I feel sorry as a manager because I am losing one employee of Gardenia. But sorry because it's what the rules says. And in Gardenia, we really uphold integrity. So you make the person realize that we're also sorry because we're losing you. But we have to be firm also. We have to implement the rules. No one is above the rule in the company.
Yes, and next
Gainom mo na
question.
ang tubig, ha? Are you learning something from this?
A lot.
Okay.
What are your major duties and responsibilities?
What are my major duties and responsibilities daw? Is it okay if Ara is answering some of the
Yes,
questions? I think kasi I invited Ara here to assist you, of course, and maybe it would be helpful if you'll hear the answer from an HR. Okay?
So, na-mention na kanina ni Ma'am yung 5 sections dito sa HR. So, isipin nyo na lang, sa bawat section na yon may 3, 4, o 2 per section. So, kung bilangin nyo yun, times 2 per section or kaya times 3. So, 15, total of 15 kami sa HR. Then, different personality, different attitude. So, monitor yun ni Ma'am. So, ayun yung major responsibility ni Ma'am. Ine-ensure niya na yung mga tao niya is na-perform efficiently and effectively yung task na na-assign sa kanya. Tapos, hindi lang yung sa monitoring at saka may guidance din, of course. May guidance din, of course, ni Ma'am Olive. So, yun. So, sa isang araw, bibigyan ko na kayo ng scenario kasi more of scenario para ma-visualize nyo kung ano yung responsibility ni Ma'am Olive as HR manager. So, sa isang araw, hindi lang siya uupo sa table si Ma'am. Ang dami niya ng mga documents sa incoming tray niya. So, sa incoming tray niya, nandun na yung mga kaso na re-review niya, mga for signature, applicants na job offer niya or kaya for final evaluation or review, final review ni Ma'am. Plus pa yung mga concerns namin. Pag nagre-review si Ma'am, papasok na lang kami bigla sa office niya. Ma'am, may concern kung ganyan. Nagre-review si Ma'am. Mawala sa momentum si Ma'am. Of course naman, ina-accept naman ni Ma'am. Ina-accommodate naman yung mga queries namin. So, ganun yung daily routine ni Ma'am as HR manager. So, yun yung hindi ko na bibigay yung talagang work scope ni Ma'am kasi mabigat yun. So, imagine niyo na yun na 15 o most mga 10 persons or 10 employees yung napasok sa akin. HR employees lang yon ha. Pero meron pa dyan mga nag-drop by lang o kaya mga passerby na biglang, "Hi Ma'am Olive!" Tapos, "Ma'am, may consult lang po ako." So, yon. So, hindi yun counted sa mga visitors ni Ma'am everyday. So, kami yung mga 10 yon. And
Sila yung visitor.
kaya everyday na nagpapasakit at nagpapatawa kay Ma'am. Nagpapasakit ng ulo at nagpapatawa kay Ma'am. So, yun. Yun yung responsibility ni Ma'am. So, clear ba? Na-answer ba? So, binibigay ko lang sa inyo yung medyo lighter side yung work scope as HR managers ni Ma'am Olive. Kasi pag sinabi niyo na Ma'am, nagbanggit na si Ma'am ng mga highfalutin words dyan, ano yun, pagbalik nyo ay mga second year students kayo. So, basically, yun yung work scope nila.
Thank you.
Okay, now, just to, yung sinasabi niya mga technical words, no? So, what are my duties and responsibilities? Number one, of course, since I'm the HR manager is the talent acquisition. So, from the sourcing to recruitment and placement, no? Yan ang gusto mong puntahan, di ba? So, dapat pag nasa recruitment ka, madaldal ka. Hindi ka pwedeng, totoo, hindi pwedeng recruitment hindi nagsasalita. Diba? When you attend to the applicant. So, of course, from the talent acquisition, yun na nga sinabi ko kanina, from sourcing to placement, diba? Then, of course, talent retention, talent engagement. How do we make our people stay on the job? So, paano yun? When you say imagine ninyo ha, kukunin mo yung empleyado, you invite them to work for you, for the company. Pag nandyan na siya, what will you do to make the person stay on the job? That is talent engagement and talent retention, di ba? So, paano mo sila ma-retain sa job? You have to ensure that you give them the right compensation. On time yung sweldo nila. The benefits, you're giving them the benefits. The welfare, you're giving them the welfare. May reklamong walang mainit dito, sira electric fan, you have to assist them. Ma'am, mukhang kulang yung overtime pay, you have to assist them. So, that's part of the talent engagement and talent retention. And then, when you say you create programs for them, like what are some of the programs we have in the company? We have the summer outing, we have the sports festival, we have the Christmas party, meron kaming Halloween party. All of these are corporate activities intended for our employees to make them after the routinary job, they have some activities to engage in, no? And then we have kumustahan sa HR. Kumustahan sa HR is something that they are free to say anything they want to say. Sama ng loob sa manager, sama ng loob sa supervisor, so we attend to them and we validate their concern. If their concerns are valid, then we act on it. We refer to the department concerned. But if their concern is not valid, then we explain to them why the concern is not valid. We make explanation. Kasi if you will not explain, then hala nila tama yung iniisip nila, especially if they are from manufacturing. Hindi nila naisip yung total picture, di ba? Nakita lang nila, ma'am, bakit po bawal ito? Kala nila bawal. We always say, for every prohibition, there is a reason. Daan yun, ha? Yung pag parents nyo, sabi niyan, huwag mong gagawin yan, huwag kayong sumimangot. May rason, bakit tayo pinapag... Tama ba? For every prohibition, there is a reason. Okay? Ano pa? Okay, so, the talent acquisition, talent engagement, and of course, yung nabanggit natin, di ba, employee relations, di ba, pag may nag-aaway na empleyado dyan, may nag-aaway na security guard, ikaw rin ang referee. So if you're an HR, you are wearing different hats from the executive to the pinakamababa. Minsan janitress ka pa rin. Minsan if we have flu vaccination, and then the dependents of the employees will be here. Aba, nani ka rin, di ba? Kasi nagpapavaccinate yung nanay o alalagaan mo muna yung baby dun. Di ba? Pero if you, as I mentioned kanina, if you enjoy your job, then no problem with that. Di ba? The key is you enjoy what you are doing. So kahit mahirap, I have also a philosophy in my life that if I go home tired, then I could say the company, the salary that the company is giving me is worth it. O baka kulang pa. Okay, because we always say at the end of the day, I tell that to our employees that at the end of the day, you have to review it. What have I done the whole day? Nalugi ba yung kumpanya sa akin o akong nalugi sa kumpanya? Okay lang kung tayo malugi sa kumpanya because the Lord will bless us all the more. Diba? Pero at the end of the day, kung sabihin lugi yung kumpanya because the company paid me for 8 hours, but the job that I finished is only for 3 hours. PO ka na nung 5 oras. Alam niyo na yung PO? Ha? Alam niyo yung PO? Patay oras. Magpagito pa kayo. Ha? Patay oras yan. Okay? Okay, ay yung AIDS. Diba? May AIDS. Alam niyo yung AIDS? Sulat niyo yan. Matututunan niyo yan. Mga linggo na yan pa nagtatrabaho. Ano yung AIDS? AIDS. As if doing something. Kunyari, busy sa work, no? Pero at the end of the day, you would see the result. Walang result. Walang output. Because nag-AIDS lang yung tao. So, pretending lang to be busy at work pero wala namang output. So at the end of the day, we always say, what's the output? What's the result? Kahit na itong isang pag-typing job, for example, typing job, 10 ulit mo ginawa, 10 hours mo ginawa, natapos ba yun, puro error, no results. Napagod ka lang. pero wala kang result. So the key there is that basta napagod ka. Kung hindi, one, you go home tired, but were you able to deliver the result, the expected results? Second, were you able to touch people's lives? Number one yan. So every day, my prayer is, Lord, help me to touch one life today. One life lang. Isa lang. Paano mo na-touch? Nasermonan mo ba yan? Sumama ang loob sa'yo? Or you just input, you just give the person one thing to remember? Life lessons? Life lessons na minsan binabaliwala. So, bakit pa hindi ko magawa? Okay? Next question, please.
Are there
Mamaya may bayad na to, ha?
are there duties and functions performed by others which you think you should be doing?
Wala naman. Yung dapat sila nagtatrabaho kung gumagawa or vice versa. Wala naman. Because in Gardenia, we identify our functions. We identify our responsibilities. Very specific yung job description for a position. Walang parehong job description unless you have the same position. Okay? That for example, so as mentioned by Ara, we're 16 in HR. But when you look at the job description of each staff, magkakaiba sila. Even if the position is HR staff, iba yung focus ng isa, iba yung focus ng isa. Very specific. That's why it makes it easy for us to evaluate their performance. Kasi meron kang KPIs. You know what is KPI? Key performance indicators. You have these key result areas. No? Na parang, this is your job description. Okay? What are expected of you? Diba? So we are evaluating the performance of our people semi-annual every July and January. Okay? Now, what are your job descriptions? What are our expectations to you? What are the deadlines that you missed? What are the deadlines that you've met? Madaling i-evaluate kasi specific yung functions. They are being evaluated based on their job description and of course from the other tasks that they were asked to do na wala naman sa job description nila. Because at times it happens, you have your job description pero may biglang project na darating na you have to assign to your staff. You have to give credit also to that person.
In your responsibility for decision making, in what areas of the company do you decide?
Decision making, ano ba yung mga dinidecide? Nag-decide ba ako? Hindi naman ako nag-decide lang. Tingnan natin, ano ba yung mga sinulat ko dito? Okay. When it comes to decision making, I wrote here something like the corporate activities, di ba? They will conceptualize. We have different committees for every activity. How many committees do we have?
11.
Huh?
11.
Committees?
Ay, committee.
Oo. How many committees do we have in Gardenia?
11.
11. So we have 11 committees, from sports and socials, canteen committee, first fire brigade, safety health committee, HASIF, ProScience, IQA, DDC. What is DDC? Document and data control, trainer circle, meron pang, we have 11, no? So, we have the committee and I head some of the committees. They conceptualize, then I approve. Okay, so corporate activities. Now, of course, I've mentioned yung employee discipline. No? When we discipline employees, yung recommended decision-making din yun eh. What recommendation will I give dun sa erring employee? Then, of course, yung replacement of agency personnel. So, we have here security agency, we have janitorial, we have data encoders, they are under an agency. So, I also decide if we have to replace the person or the worker from that agency, or we also have to decide whether the agency must be replaced already. When I say decide, okay, because of the maybe the result of the performance appraisal, then we make decision, this is the time we need to replace this agency. But the final approval, don't forget that, the final approval will still be with the president of the company. But we do give recommendations. Why do you want to Why do you want to replace your agency, for example? Then I have to defend my position. If I said, I want this agency be replaced, or what's your basis for your recommendation? Then I give my reasons. Of course, as far as the rendering of overtime, no? Scheduling of manpower, yan, kasama yan.
The reports you prepared, what are...
Reports that I prepare, mo. Sige, tignan natin. Ano ba yung mga susulat ko dito? Of course, we have the Mancom report. When you say Mancom report, ito kasi yan. We have 5 sections in HR. Each of them, they will make their report. They will make their report, and I review the report. Okay? So, I review the report, or I add to their report. Again, that is my role. What's the purpose of the Mancom report? Mancom is management committee. So monthly we meet as Mancom together, all managers together with the president. So in there we discuss about the problems, the issues that we encountered, how we solved it, and what are our plans for the coming month, what are our accomplishments, achievements for the past month. Other reports, yung manpower movement, of course, if one employee, resignation, nag-awol, na-dismissed, na-transfer, na-promote from one position to the other, the transfer from one department to the other, we have to track it. That's part of the manpower movement. If there is an increase of salary, kasama din yun sa mga reports natin. And we do submit a report in Singapore. Our head office is in Singapore. So we do submit a monthly report as to the manpower. Nag-increase ba yung manpower namin? Nag-decrease yung manpower namin? Those are just some of the reports. Too many to mention.
This part will be our last question for you.
Wow, talaga.
How did you acquire the skill to perform your job? I think it's based on experiences, as you mentioned. And
Self-study also.
yes. And what is the so you had your college degree?
Hindi. Elementary lang.
What's your course?
AD,
AD
psychology.
And the last is, what is the minimum work experience required to be able to do this job?
For
For
what position?
non-supervisory.
For non-supervisory, what's the minimum?
Yes.
What do you mean? What job?
Minimum work experience for the HR.
For HR staff.
Yes.
What's the minimum requirement of it?
1 to 2 years experience as HR practitioner.
Yeah. It's a minimum requirement.
Given with pleasing personality. Joke lang.
But I can still remember when before graduation in college, one professor told us, the students, that you grab the first job offer that you can get. Why? That was before. Please take note of it. That was before. Because most of the companies, they want to hire a person with experience. That's why our clamor before, ng mga graduate, paano nga kami makakapagtrabaho nito? They want with experience. Fresh graduate nga kami, di ba? That's the advice of my professor before. Na pagka job offer, tanggapin nyo agad. That's why my first job is in Philippine Christian University. Nagturo ako doon for 2 years. Sabi, grab. Tapos, when I'm teaching, then I just want to go in a corporate world. I want to be an HR manager, not an instructor. Pero yung teaching I love also teaching, pero mas gusto ko na sa corporate setting. But I purposed in my life talaga na I really want to be in HR. I want to be an HR manager. That's really my dream. Later ko na ganito pala ang HR. Grabe, sakit ng ulo, sakit ng tinder. Yeah, pero yun ang gusto ko eh. Diba? So, but now it's not the story anymore. So when you graduate, one, you have to do and advice na to unsolicited advice. You have to do good in your studies. The transcript is really a yardstick also. We are HR. We really look at the transcript of records. How many failed subjects? What's your grade? What's your average age? Average grade? That is very important. Second, character reference. We do character reference, background check. Okay, what can you say about Miss CFS? How does she relate to other students? That's very important. Okay? So, yun ang tignan niyo. So, be good in school. And you choose. Kung before ang advice sa amin, the first job, grab mo na agad. It may not be true now. There are a lot of companies there, especially if you are really, really good. Modesty aside, I graduated cum laude. Pero I'm not saying this dahil para iyabang sa inyo. Sinasabi ko to kasi I have a third year college student, son. I have a son, no? Third year. Tinuturo ko sa kanya yan na parang your credentials would be your transcript of records, your track record in school. If you ask yourself, will you have 2 or 3 professors that will vouch for your character? Dapat meron nun. Kasi kung wala na, nahihirapan ka. Na parang anybody will say na, oh, what's your performance in college? What's your leadership? So if you have, mga organizations in college, in universities, you join that because that there, yung leadership will be built. Yung relationship will be built also. Okay, so hindi porket graduate kayo na you're from Lasal, Benel. Not because you are a graduate of reputable school, okay ka na. No. Yes, there are some companies, they want to get their graduates from reputable schools. Ateneo, UP, Lasal, di ba? UST, maybe that. Pero that is not a guarantee. Why? Because your performance will speak for yourself. Your performance. Maybe pag hiring pa lang, ito graduate, ito, kunin natin yan. Pero you will pass through the probationary period. If during your probationary period, you cannot deliver result, ganda lang school. Diba? Yung nasasabihin, maganda lang school. Then you will end up, the company will end your probationary appointment. You will not be put on a regular position. Sabi lang, maganda lang school. So, wag lang iyabang, excuse me for saying wag lang iyabang yung school. Dapat, sasabihin nyo, kahit saan ako school nang galing, okay lang ako kasi I will perform well. I will deliver result. That's the name of the game now. Okay? Meron pa bang question? Wala na. Gusto ko na marinig yung boses ni, what's your name again? Gail. Sige, you have, allow you to ask 2 questions. Wala. What do you do with this interview after? How will you present this in school?
We're going
Huh?
to do the job description and then submit it.
Job description lang ba? Dapat binigay ko na lang sa inyo yung job description ko.
Is we need the video, photos, and recording.
Okay. So, your assignment as a group is just to make a job description.
Yes. With an interview to support the job description.
Okay. But this is just a reminder. In other companies, they are no longer working using the job description. Wala nang job description. But with Gardenia, we're still using the job description. Maybe until such time we find another tool to measure the performance of the employee, then we'll do away with job description. There are some companies that they are no longer using job description. Okay? Meron pa bang tanong? Meron pang gustong sabihin?